It's good to see everybody back again. Let's see what is going on here, all right? Hey, we're going to be able to find the perimeter of polygons, and you're probably thinking you already know how to do this. So this should be a piece of cake here. Ooh, hey, Polly's living the good life now, taking a streetcar with all those friends. Of course, if we want to find the perimeter, real simple. Just add up every side of the polygon. Uh-oh, only two sides are labeled. That's okay. I know it's a quadrilateral because there are four sides. I know it's a rectangle because there are four right angles. I therefore know the opposite sides have to be congruent because it's a rectangle. So I know the other sides are also 7 and 5. I can add those together, and woohoo, we've got the perimeter of the rectangle. Interesting. We only have two of the three sides of a triangle. But that's okay. I see there's a right angle, and since it's a right angle, it makes it a right triangle, which means I can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared is c squared. Fair warning, on the worksheet, I'm going to throw you a little bit of a curveball. In this example, I know both legs and I need to find the hypotenuse. You'll have one question like this and one question where instead of missing the hypotenuse, you'll be missing a leg. Either way, you start out with a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Plug in the numbers you know. A and b are interchangeable. C must be the hypotenuse. The longest side has to be C. 9 times 9, of course, is 81. 12 times 12, 144. Add those numbers together, you get 225. Boy, it seems like a big number for that triangle. Oh, I forgot to take the square root. I just want to know the third side, not the value of the third side squared. Square root will give me 15. Now I know the missing side is 15. Now I know the length of all three sides. I can add those three sides together, and I get the answer of 36. Okay, now we're going to start having some fun. We all know for a rectangle, you just add up four sides. I really cannot make an equation with all four sides, because if I only have one equation, I can only solve for one variable. And I see three variables. I see an x, I see a y, and I see a z. So I can only solve for one of them with one equation. But we know something. We know that if we have the length plus the width, that's half the perimeter. And if you notice, one of the lengths is labeled with the variable x involved. One of the widths is labeled with the variable f. So I can take the length that is labeled 3x plus 2, add it to the length that's labeled, the width that's labeled x plus 1, and that will add up to 19 because 19 is half of 38. Combine like terms. 3x plus x is 4x. 2 plus 1 is 3. Undo addition by subtraction. 19 subtract 3 is 16. Undo the multiplication by division. I now know that x equals 4. Hey, and I can actually dive in now. I know the directions say find x, y, and z first. You can't really find y or z until you figure out the length or the width. So the width is just x plus 1, which is also 4 plus 1, which is 5. The length, a little bit trickier, 3x plus 2. So that becomes 3 times 4 plus 2, which is 14. So now I know the width and the length. So I can find y. I now know that that y plus 2 has to be 5. I can quickly figure out that y has to be 3. A little bit slower. I know 3z minus 1 is 14. Opposite of subtraction is addition, so let's add 1. Opposite of multiplication is division, so let's divide by 3. And now I know the value of x X, the value of Y, the value of Z. I know the width, and I know the length. So when you're working on the worksheet, stay on your toes. You have to use what you know about the quadrilateral family, and there's probably be a little bit of a twist. One of the questions will be relatively straightforward, like this rectangle, but you might find a rhombus for the other shape, and you might have to use a slightly different technique to attack that one. But it'll be a fun worksheet. Speaking of which, it looks like the trolley's pulling on in again. So it's time to transition off of this video and on to the worksheet. Good news, bad news? Good news, there are only 6 questions. Bad news, 4 of them might be kind of time consuming. But you can do it. I've got faith in you.